Hey guys, Brad with 1894 Outdoors, and welcome to another video. Today, while I was out metal detecting, I found something absolutely incredible, and I'm really excited about it. What I found actually plays a big part in why I got into metal detecting in the first place. Before I ever got into this hobby, I collected antiques and I loved history. And specifically, I loved antique bottles. So I guess that's a little hint of what I found. But anyway, it's something I'm very passionate about, and finding one is a dream. So I'm going to show you the clip now with my live reaction, and then I'm going to teach you a little bit about the history of where this particular thing came from. Guys, I just found something unbelievable. I am literally shaking. I was digging this hole, can't really find the signal. It was kind of jumpy, and I look over to my left and just happen to see this sticking out of the leaves. A little amber bottle right there. And I knew what it was right away, and I couldn't help myself. I pulled it out to make sure it was whole, and it is. I'll show you. This is what it looked like. See the divot in the ground. On the surface, this is a McHenry whiskey bottle. This is what I collect from my local town. This bottle is 100 years old. McHenry is one of my biggest passions. I've been collecting it for years, and to dig a bottle intact is unbelievable. It's been a dream of mine. I found pieces, but I have never found a whole one. And the sample bottles are even cooler. And it's an error. I just noticed that. It's a double stamp error. There's two M's. I don't have one of them in my collection. Oh my God, I cannot believe it. There's nothing else in the world I would have rather found today than this. And I didn't even find it with my metal detector. It's just on the surface. If I was a couple inches over, I would have hit it, and that would have crushed me. But I found one, and that is unbelievable. I've never been happier metal detecting. I got to get that in the car so it's safe. That is something else. So now that you guys saw the bottle that I found, I want to take a moment to just teach you a little bit of history of the company that created that bottle over 100 years ago. The story of the McHenry Distillery begins in 1795, when John Hunter Mchenry was born in the Fishing Creek Valley of Pennsylvania. John would begin distilling rye whiskey. At just 18 years old, John Mchenry begins the construction of what would become the McHenry Distillery in Benton, Pa. In 1829, Rohr Mchenry was born. He was imprisoned for a short time for allegedly being associated with the Fishing Creek Confederacy. After Rohr was released in 1864, he began expanding the distillery, eventually building it up to a large, nationally recognized business. In 1868, John G Mchenry was born. John G Mchenry would eventually take over the distillery, and under him, its popularity would skyrocket. John G Mchenry would later become a respected state senator. Under John G Mchenry, the business flourished. The demand for the whiskey was so high that whiskey was purchased in bond before it was even finished being made. The McHenry Whiskey Company also began marketing its whiskey to hospitals. It was considered to be so pure that it was medical grade. At one point, it is even noted that whiskey was sent to New York City to cops, and the cops loved it so much that they had more sent to them, so they sent more sample bottles to the cops of New York City. In 1911, disaster struck when a mysterious fire in the bonding house destroyed 17,000 barrels of ripe whiskey. It is said that so much whiskey was spilled that day that the creeks were set ablaze as the whiskey rushed down them. The company received almost $500,000 in fire insurance, which was a ton of money in 1911, but ultimately it was not enough to pay back the banks and bondholders, and the fire would ultimately cause the company to fold. And then, in 1913, John G Mchenry passed away unexpectedly. If the McHenry Distillery never burned, I feel that it could have been as large and well known as Jack Daniels. In 1920, John Mchenry's son and Harry Long attempted to recreate the distillery under the name of Old McHenry Whiskey, but the attempts would inevitably fail. McHenry Whiskey was then sold out of Benton, Pennsylvania. It landed first in Archibald, and then, after being sold from there, went to Louisville, Kentucky. And then in 1960, it completely stopped being made. And that's where the story of McHenry Whiskey ends, but that's not the end of our story. Because the amazing part about McHenry Distillery is how much merchandise and advertising they created. This has created a huge market, and the amount that is out there is amazing. There's so many different things, and I am in love with it. In my opinion, it's the most interesting part of the McHenry Distillery. The McHenry Whiskey Company created a very recognizable brand by putting tons of effort into creating unique and beautiful advertising pieces that would later become coveted in my surrounding area. Some of the most unique pieces include 7 known shot glasses, whiskey jugs, trays, sample bottles, corkscrews, and much, much more. And all of them are absolutely beautiful. And that will conclude our story of the McHenry whiskey. Thank you guys for watching. I really do appreciate it. I hope you guys enjoyed this little bit of history. The McHenry Whiskey Company is something that I am fascinated with, and I've been for many years. I've been a collector for a long time, and again, to have found the bottle I did was absolutely amazing. So I hope you guys enjoyed. If you like this and you would like to see more history from me in the future, it's something I'm very interested in, and I'd like to make more videos. So if you made it this far, thank you so much for watching. If you could leave a like and comment below, I'd really appreciate it. And don't forget to subscribe, it helps me out a lot. And I will see you guys in the next video.